Wow, it's been a while since we've done a podcast, hasn't it?
Womp womp.
Been too busy thinking about Mario Kart Tour.
What happened?
I've been busy thinking about Mario Kart Tour while you've been hating on it.
Womp womp.
Anyways, enough with the womp womps. There's probably going to be a direct in April. This time, I'm not going to predict a date because the last time I did that for January, it didn't exactly turn out well because there wasn't a January direct. But I do assume that there will be one in April. And
I
specifically, I'm going to throw it out there, but I won't put it in the title or the thumbnail, the 11th. Because there are two main reasons. One is because sources are pointing to that are actually pretty reliable. They predicted the Smash Direct, this indie presentation, that kind of stuff. And they've been right on quite a few things. And it's the day before Reggie leaves Nintendo. Now, if you don't know who Reggie Fils-Aimé is, which I assume you do if you're a Nintendo fan, he is the president of Nintendo of America, and he is retiring on April 12th. That means he won't be working at Nintendo anymore, and he's going to be able to enjoy all the time he wants on Animal Crossing New Leaf.
That's right. And he should, because it's a retirement well deserved.
I agree, he's done so many good things for the company. I just hope his body's ready for retirement, because some people, they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's ready.
But anyways, with that being said, with the Nintendo Direct coming, I do have some predictions of what will be in the Direct. And the first thing I'm going to say is most recent Nintendo Directs have stated that they'll have a focus on a certain game. They'll have a 5 to 7 minute section on it. It was Super Mario Odyssey one time, it was Mario Tennis Aces another, Fire Emblem Three Houses for the last Direct. And for this one, I think it's going to have a heavy focus on Super Mario Maker 2 because we still don't know much about the game. All we have is a trailer, and it's coming out in
Yeah,
June, which is 2 months away. So they're definitely going to
yeah, I
focus a little more on that.
yeah, I agree. I think now is the time to talk about Super Mario Maker 2, especially since I don't think there's going to be enough time to cover that during E3, since we've got bigger announcements to talk about, which aren't in this direct, which we'll throw out there a little later on. But yeah, the right time would be now to kind of go over the basics and so on and so forth. I'm not saying they can't highlight it during E3, but it'd be kind of dumb to kind of highlight the game over other titles that are a little bit bigger that are coming out later on in the year.
Yeah, that's the way I'll see it because it was announced in a direct. I think we're going to get more information about it, so I think we're in agreement that it's going to have a main focus on Super Mario Maker 2.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, how you mentioned the bigger games being saved towards E3. E3 is only 2 months away, so I agree with you
Mm,
there. So I think this direct will focus more on smaller titles. You know, games that can still be pretty exciting for us, but don't have the
mhm.
same amount of mass appeal that some other games do. And I think one of those
Right.
games will be a WarioWare game for the Switch. We got
Mm.
WarioWare Gold last year for the 3DS. Unfortunately, it didn't do too well, but I think the purpose of it was to get people back into the WarioWare series and remember that it was a thing. Because I do think we could see an entry on the Switch, and it would be so cool. Because the Switch has a lot of potential with the Joy-Cons, there's a lot of versatility with the system, and it'd be perfect for WarioWare.
You see, I have kind of a different opinion. I know for sure we're getting a WarioWare this year. I'm not sure if they're going to announce it in the April Direct. The reason I say that is because I feel like they're going to announce a Wario Land game. Now, there's been a rumor for a while that there's a Virtual Boy Wario Land remake being developed by apparently Skip, who made the Chibi Robo games. Uh, at first, it was rumored for the 3DS. Now it's rumored for the Switch. Um, and I honestly think they're going to finally reveal it. I think the time is now. I don't think it would be a huge announcement during E3 unless they do those treehouse reveals like they did with Metroid Samus Returns. But I think this will be a good direct to announce it, especially if it's going for a summer release date. And then I think WarioWare should be announced in the summertime. Uh, I just feel like there's a lot of evidence going for this. This has been a rumor for a long time, as well as the Link's Awakening remake. So, you know, I kind of disagree with you there for what they're going to announce for in terms of Wario.
You know, as much as I'd like to see a Wario Land game, it's been way too long without a game that I'm not sure it'll become a thing. But there is some validity to there being a remake of Virtual Boy Wario Land because Nintendo has trademarked Wario Land Awazon's Treasure, or something like that, in
Yeah,
2017.
it's
So there
right.
is evidence pointing towards a potential remake of Virtual Boy Wario Land, but they've also
Mhm.
trademarked other stuff in the past that never came to be. So it's really hard to
You know,
say,
yeah,
but I think we can both agree that having a new Wario Land would be awesome. But as for what I predict,
yeah.
I think WarioWare is going to be the game that they'll show off.
Agree to disagree. I have a feeling that it's coming.
Hmm. I wish. I can only hope, but it's really hard to tell with that kind of game because we haven't seen an entry since Wario Land Shake It, which was 10 years ago.
It's
So
true.
it seems like New
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. Kind of had the opposite effect that Wario Land had on 2D Mario, where New Super Mario Bros. Replaced Wario Land, whereas before it was Wario Land that replaced 2D Mario.
We I mean, a little bit of speculation on my end. I think the reason that they might do Virtual Boy Wario Land's remake is to try to see if there's still an audience for it. Kind of like what they've been doing with these remakes with Metroid Samus Returns and so on and so forth. And then the year after it is when we see kind of a new entry in the series. And I think there's evidence pointing towards this. Will we see a new WarioWare game? Yeah, I just don't think we're going to see it right now.
Hmm. Well, let's see. If they're gonna remake it this year, then I could see a potential entry in the future, and maybe they'll have VR Labo support. I mean, that'd be pretty funny because it was a Virtual Boy
That,
game,
yeah,
but
yeah, I
I
could
think it
see that.
actually worked
As
well.
much as I, yeah, as much as I don't like Labo VR, which probably could be a separate video, but I think it could be a cool idea. But moving on, I wanted to get the two big obvious ones out of the way. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate version 3.0. Uh, we all know that they're gonna talk about this.
I mean, yeah, they announced it
And
in February and said 3.0 is coming in April, but what will it include? Find out in the
yeah,
next direct.
so there's been a lot of rumors and speculations about version 3.0 alongside with Joker, it coming with a revamped stage builder and home run contest, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We don't know if there's anything else coming with it, but that's apparently what it's bringing, alongside Joker, of course. I think we're gonna see some Joker gameplay finally. We're gonna get a release date for when he comes out.
You think we're
And I
getting a
think
new character?
alongs what
New
happened?
character reveal or not yet?
No, so I'll save that for the E3 predictions because I have a big E3 prediction that I want to make clear. I won't talk about it here, but I think the next character reveal will be at E3, and it will be a massive reveal. Uh, I I don't think they're gonna announce anybody this direct, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way on that. But with the 3.0 update, I
Mhm.
think Joker will be released in it. So with the Smash update, you got home run contest, you got the stage builder, but I'm not sure if I could
Mhm.
see anything else. And with those kind of updates, Smash Ultimate launched with a
Yeah.
great amount of content, so anything beyond that is just really nice to have.
I think also there was a Best Buy leak saying that Persona 5 was coming to the Switch. I think they can kind of announce that as well with the Joker gameplay and release date, just to kind of coincide and like get people hyped for the game that Joker originated for.
Well, yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
obviously what
I
they're
think
trying to do. They're gonna make the DLC characters to advertise other games.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Uh, but yeah, um, moving away from that, I kind of wanted to talk about something a little bit more confusing for me. So going off of that Best Buy leak thing, there were three games that were apparently leaked. It was Persona 5 for the Switch. It was the Metroid Prime Trilogy, which I mean, I don't think we really need to talk about that much. I mean, it's almost a guarantee at this point. And then the last one was The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which I was very confused about because we're already getting a Zelda remake with Link's Awakening, and we're getting a Link to the Past remake now. What do you think about this, Demetri? I'm very confused by this.
So what I think of it is I don't think it's going to be a remake. I don't think we're going to get two Zelda remakes in the same year. But I think it's
Hmm.
either pointing towards a virtual console on the Switch, or more likely, Nintendo Switch Online is going to be updated to have SNES games. And if they do that, I'll definitely be getting the service. I think that if there are SNES games, it's reasonable enough for me to get it now because I'm sorry, but in its current state, Nintendo Switch Online is still pure garbage. But I think they're going to make it
Yeah.
better.
Well, the reason I ask is because it was listed individually as like a separate game that you can buy on its own on the
Pro-
website.
Probably an error or
Huh?
something.
I don't think so. Usually those things shouldn't be errors. So I'm kind of wondering if, hypothetically, could we be seeing two Zelda remakes this year?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm thinking. Again, I'm leaning towards your idea more, where it's part of this Super Nintendo Online service, or maybe they're just selling Super Nintendo games on their own. Maybe they're doing a virtual console. Who knows?
That'd be
Uh,
nice though, having a virtual console on the Switch.
oh yeah, definitely. Maybe they hear our criticisms and they're gonna announce a new virtual console so that we can actually go on the eShop and download games individually. But that's just my thoughts. I don't know.
But
Um,
going on a smaller game,
yeah.
I
Mhm.
think we'll see more of Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics because it's pretty surprising, but not surprising at the same time, that the series is back
Mhm.
because they skipped the Winter Olympics in 2018.
Mm,
So I think we'll get more
yeah,
information on that. Maybe more gameplay. It said it was
I
going to
think I
release
think we'll
later on in the year though.
I think we'll get a proper. Well, I don't know.
Because you
We
know how
could see.
Nintendo sometimes announces games that were announced by other companies, like Mario and Rabbids in the E3 Direct, even though that was announced before then?
Yeah.
They do that
Well,
with some games, and Mario and Sonic is developed by Sega, not Nintendo, so I think they could just announce it again just in case people missed it.
I'm sure we're gonna have a proper announcement trailer. I'm kind of on the fence whether or not they'll announce it in this direct or they'll kind of like slide it in there with E3.
Well, it already
Uh,
exists, so I think it's going to be covered in this Direct, but other than that, I really can't see much happening in the Direct. I think it's going to be smaller, it's going to have a focus on Super Mario Maker 2. E3 isn't that far away, so I think that's when all the major announcements are going to happen, like Animal Crossing finally being shown off, Luigi's Mansion 3 information, possibly a new
yeah.
Donkey Kong. But what I do think will happen in this Direct is we'll get a final goodbye from Reggie and possibly a big announcement.
Yeah.
But what that big announcement could be, I'm not sure. But if I were to predict it, it would be Mother 3.
Really interesting.
He's joked about
Why
it
do you say
before.
Mother?
He's been asked about it constantly. If he actually gets Mother 3 ported to North America and Europe, then
Mhm.
his legacy will end off perfectly. And we can finally
You
have
know
Mother
what?
3.
You're actually right. I think, yeah, actually, that would make a lot of sense. But do you think Nintendo would do that? Here's my question. Do you think they just package Mother 3, or do you think they'd package it as a trilogy collection?
They already did Earthbound Beginnings, which was just the English translation of the first Earthbound game,
Right.
which was in development for the NES. I think it was actually completed, but kind of had a Star Fox 2 situation where it got scrapped before it got released.
Okay.
But I don't think it'll be a trilogy. I think we'll get Mother 3 translated at the very least, the GBA one, and I think
Mhm.
it'll end off Reggie's legacy perfectly with Nintendo.
I kind of agree. I hope that's true because if Reggie's the one to announce one last game and it's Mother 3, everyone would lose their mind. And yeah, it would solidify his legacy there. But I actually have I have a few I have a few more predictions. One has to do with Pikmin. And no, I'm not talking about a Pikmin 4 reveal. I feel like that's more of an E3 thing, but I think we're getting a Pikmin port. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy collection or if it's just Pikmin 3, like what's being rumored, but I think that's coming. Uh, and I think since we got Cuphead on the Switch now, there have been murmurings that we might get other Microsoft games on the Switch later on. One of those games mentioned is a critically acclaimed game on the Xbox called Ori and the Blind Forest. I think this will be revealed for the Switch uh, in like a third party segment, and I think that will be one of the big reveals. Not one of the huge first party reveals, but one of the big third party reveals. Uh, yeah, but besides that, I honestly can't predict anything else to be honest with you. I'm kind of excited to see if they have any like surprise announcements. Like I'm hoping maybe we see maybe Mario Kart 9 because I'm trying to think about how they would fit that into the E3 like digital event, and I think it's already crowded as it is.
I don't think we're going to see anything related to Mario Kart in this direct. E3 for sure if
Hmm.
there is Mario Kart 9, and we're certainly not getting information on Mario Kart Tour, but you think we should end it off here because I think we got a pretty good list of predictions so far.
Yeah, I think we should. I just wanted to know what are your thoughts on the Pikmin 3 port?
Unfortunately, I think it's going to
Do you
happen.
think it's gonna
Nintendo
happen?
hasn't done trilogies in a while, so
Yeah.
I would say that it's just going to be Pikmin 3 and Pikmin 4 at E3. But other than that, I think my predictions are solid.
Yep, mine too. I guess we should sign off now.
Alright, thanks for watching. I'm Demeech,
And I'm Tyler Guy 2800.
and keep calm and da da on.